Learn how to use the Navigator language property to detect the preferred language setting of the visitor's browser. In this lesson, we want to look at how you can read browser language using the Navigator property. The Navigator language property looks at the browser system settings to find out what language the user prefers. This is incredibly useful because it allows your website to automatically customize itself. Like if you want your text to be displayed in a particular language, say Spanish, French, Latin, or whatever. So it makes it easy without forcing the user to manually click a language selector. So that's the usefulness of this property that we want to look at in this example. And so let's just move into the script tag and then construct a check. Document.getElement by id demo.inner HTML equals to the browser language is plus Navigator.language. Now look at this. The browser language is English. So my system or my browser is currently set to US English, and I was able to just read this using this simple property. So by default, you can see if I visit a site that supports English, automatically I will not need to be selecting language manually because my browser is already set to English. But if I visit a site that uses maybe Spanish or French or something else as the content, then that is when my browser can now pop up an option for me to select if I want language translation or not. Now, this example shows how our script automatically fetches the active language code from the browser interface and prints it onto the screen inside the paragraph. So this property is what actually fetches the active language from the browser interface and then display it onto us. So our Navigator.language queries the browser to get its primary language tag string, such as en.us, which is for me, for American English. Then you can see some like ES for Spanish or JA for Japanese. It depends on your region and locality and where you are currently using your browser. Another thing is the document.getElement by id. This helps us to target the empty div here and insert the introductory text, which is the browser language is, along with the language tag code that is fetched by the Navigator object. So what was fetched here and this introductory text, once they are gotten, then everything got dumped onto this part and then it gets displayed on the screen as you can see. Here are a few key takeaways from this lesson. The Navigator language property typically returns a short, standardized language tag string, often combining the language and region. So this is combining language and region together. EN is the English and US is the location. Now, this property as well can be written without the window prefix. Although this is the norm way we are supposed to write it, window.navigation.language. But without this window prefix, we can still write our code and it will still work. So what does this help us do? It helps us keep our code clean, and then also you can see that it makes the syntax simple and short, as you can see as well. And finally, this example is the foundation for web localization, that is making your application accessible to a global audience automatically. So when we are talking about web localization, so this aspect is very important, as what we just demonstrated in this example is the happens to be the foundation for it. So By already having your website set to different languages that people are likely to use, this can make your application accessible to a global audience automatically without them having to go through the process or the headache of selecting language that their browser supports manually.